Do you think the apology will come from Zuckerberg and those guys on Facebook soon, saying sorry we misinformationed you? And no, say what you want about Trump, but he's going to freaking Palestine, see what's going on, and he got numbnuts there, Biden, to do something. So, but isn't it sad? It takes an ex-president who's campaigning, to be run for president again. That's what it takes for the federal government to actually do something. If Trump's going to make me look bad, then I need to actually do something. If Trump isn't, then I don't need to do anything. So, the fact that you are an American citizen in a state and in a town in the United States has just had this horrible disaster happen, that doesn't matter. What matters is Trump will come make me look bad, so now I've decided I'm going to help you.
Right. Because in the military, if we say, hey, keep it down, that means stop talking.
Right.
And so, with men, egos can easily get involved. Or with humans, I guess it doesn't have to just be men.
Yeah, no, just humans in general.
Yeah, I could see women also possibly being like, I'm not going to keep my voice down for you, guy in a pajama suit.
Yeah, because I
read some of his emails, looked at some of those pictures.
Yeah, I went through...
Disturbed now?
Most. Yeah, it's a lot. I can't even say I went through most because it was so much. But, so... One thing that's, well, not one of the things that stood out was like this dude was spending like $8,000 on like escort/hookers or whatever you want. I don't know, for like 8 hours.
Dates for the night.
$8,000, dude. $8,000. I seen some of the pictures of the girls, and they weren't bad.
And there is so much that you could do with $8,000.
Yeah.
And that is not one of the things that I would do with $8,000. Man,
$8,000.
I could probably get some really good compost brought in to spread throughout my garden.
Dude, for $8,000, you could probably get compost brought in and
redo the whole yard.
Hot naked girls freaking breaking it out for you, like this dude, and he was like constantly wiring money to all these girls. Like,
no, well, that's it's not just that, right? So, like, everybody's got demons of some kind or another. It's that he was doing that while providing, allegedly, access to his father through some of these business deals.
Right.
10% for the big guy?
Yeah. No, I looked
allegedly.
Up and, like, it was
Must
crazy.
say that for legal purposes.
Yeah. Like, it went through, like, you realize if this was Donald Trump Jr., Eric, or
man, they would have been like there would have been a show on Capitol Hill for months. They would have stretched it out to make sure that every detail of that laptop was put into the record so that that family could no longer use that last name in this country.
Just like a non-binary gay person?
Yeah, I don't know how that happens. How can you be non-binary and gay? You have no sex, but yet you're gay?
Right. It's a game. And there's so many idiots out there that play it every day. I, for one, will not play the game.
I treat people with dignity and respect. That's what you get from me.
You should watch this. You should watch this. And I finally saw it. And now I know why. She said I should watch this. Holy shit. You want to know why, like, the Uniparty exists and everything? Because there's this group in Washington called The Family. And none of it's like, it's all like unwritten, not a club cult, but it really is. And it's supposedly just like they put on the National Prayer Breakfast every year. So it's supposed to be like this Christian thing. Except this guy that goes, they give him the books of like Luke, Matthew, John. Like there's only 4 books. And the rest of the Bible doesn't matter according to them. And then they like twist the words too. And it's like, oh yeah, no, Jesus only cared about powerful people. He didn't care about poor people. Which I'm like, guess we read different Bibles, but
that's like the exact opposite of what I read.
Yeah, isn't it weird? Interesting. Yeah. So, anyways, every powerful person, even like in the world, has a connection to this group, and yeah, it was an interesting series. I watched it, and I'm like, well, because her whole thing, I think, is like she's not Christian. She doesn't believe in that, I guess, which is fine. I don't judge anyone based on you believe in whatever you want to believe in, but I can see after you watch this, you get such a bad taste for it in your, like, you would really be like, yeah, I don't want nothing to do with that. Like, I'm like, that's not like anything I've ever learned in my life. So this is like this is a cult. Like, dude, this is a cult, straight up cult. And they surround themselves with the most powerful people in the world. So I want everyone to know today, when you got up to go to work and you left your family and you're like, Cap, I'm going to go, maybe you love your job, hate your job. But anyways, you went to work today. And then at the end of the week, you'll get a paycheck. You'll get raped out of 28% of it by the government. But I just want you to know, and you should be thankful that you are contributing to Ukraine. I mean, like,
their pensions will be paid.
Like,
meanwhile, the soldiers in the military are told to go get on food stamps.
Yeah. So we'll put the soldiers on food stamps instead of paying them a proper wage. Yeah. So, because this is what's important. Like,
or if you don't want to give them a proper wage, how about reduce call back your decisions, open up the pipeline again, restore.
But that's bad for the environment.
I know, man. It's so frustrating. It's just, if you think about it too long, it's just anger inducing. You just got to use discernment, right? So you have Rosie O'Donnell agreeing with Trump on Ohio. And,
did you see that?
But she's saying, like, get them off the land, whatever, right? So that's kind of in line with the whole 15-minute city Agenda 2030 thing, which is, yeah, she doesn't want them living in polluted land, but it also lines up with that alleged, we can take away your land and put you in a city.
They don't own anything. This has been said for how
long? Oh, yeah, that's true.
So,
but do we even know what the truth is?
That's what I question.
Because why wouldn't it? Like, it could if it wanted to, I would imagine.
It was always fear Russia, fear China, okay.
Because I look at it this way. If the U.S. wanted to go take over 10 miles south of the border into Mexico, the U.S. would do it.
Yeah, piece of cake.
Exactly. Like, don't get me wrong. Remember, we might get bombed or whatever else and everything from
cartels.
Yeah. Cartel. But you know what I'm saying? Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Like, the whole.
Listen, I watched this a year ago. I physically watched it on whatever channel I had it on. Didn't matter if it was CNN or whatever. This whole thing. Kiev's going to fall by the weekend. And a year later.
Tell them everything is to ramp us up, to get us all fired up and confused about everything. You need to keep your eye on the list of pedophiles that needs to come out. That's what the real number one is who all is corrupted. But
is it going to matter because they're not going to get arrested anyways? We know most of the government's on the list. We know it.
Well, I don't know if we know it. We assume it.
We know it.
We assume.
Bill Clinton been to that island more than anybody, probably.
20 some odd times, allegedly.
Yeah. Where's the outcry there?
No, but to me, that's the... Like, once all of those who are corrupted with human trafficking, that's what they're all trying to keep us from finding out. And my point of view is they don't want us to know that they're all horrible people.
Yeah.
I wouldn't even call them people if they're involved with human trafficking.
All Hollywood, all our government.
It's not all, but it's a lot. Well, it's a lot.
Not all. Very big majority.
I don't know if it's a majority, but I would say there's a lot of big names on there that will definitely change people's minds about the whole system. The political system, the whole movie system, everything should collapse once all that comes out. We've propped up all these movie stars, and they're jackasses, most of them.
They made millions.
Like, you listen to them talk, and it's worse than listening to me and you talk, man. They can't. They don't do the amount of research that we think that we do. Most of them, some of them do, but they're talking. They just read whatever they're told. They're actors. They memorize lines. They're not special. They're pretty or beautiful or handsome.
Millions of dollars.
But that's about it. Appreciate their acting ability, appreciate their good looks, but it ends there for me. Like, for the most part. Like, I like listening to some of them, like, you know what I mean? Like, some of them are like, oh, that you agree with. It's easier to listen to. But still, at the end of the day, we're all idiots.
We all buy into it. We all
like what do we know? Like, there's so much disinformation. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you got Rosie agreeing with Trump on something, then that throws up flags for me because I thought they hated each other.
They do. Well, I think that was the whole point of it, right? Is things are so bad that this person who hates this person
actually in agreement.
It's the bigger picture for me is the federal government forced the rail unions into those. Well, didn't even think about that until you said it. We were talking this weekend, and basically, if they strike again, it's a felony or federal offense.
That's why it's a uniparty, because the Democrats, much less the squad, the progressive team, should have been standing up for this labor union, and they did not. They voted to end the strike instead of supporting the strike. So not only are there instances where Republicans are not really Republicans, there are instances where Democrats are not really Democrats. They're all in it for the system. They have different names to make you think but they're all together. At the end of the day, it's all BS because they could have stopped it.
Yeah.
Or they could have stopped it. They could have tried. They could have helped and shown support, and they didn't.
And it just also shows that our infrastructure in the country is even worse than we think. Because, I mean, let's face it, we drive on shit roads every day.
Dude, the infrastructure is a joke.
My road
I say it every episode. It's 2023. We don't have high-speed internet. We don't have paved roads, and we're calling ourselves like the greatest country. We're not.
Right. And so you've got this extra money left in a budget, right? So we've got $1 billion left over this year. We're $34 trillion in debt, but I'm going to take the $1 billion instead of paying towards our debt. I'm going to take the $1 billion. I'm going to give Newport a rec center. I'm going to give Los Angeles a fucking dog wash center. I'm going to, whatever. We're going to do all these things. And then we still keep sending these same people back to Washington. And
because they got us with bread and circuses, man. So we're getting a rec center. So Shaheen and them are all good because they got us a rec center.
I've heard that before.
Yeah.
Damn, she's done a lot for Newport with a rec center. I'm going to get a rec center, I guess, supposedly. There's no goddamn increased demand in food. Everyone in the town of Newport, okay, if we're just talking about Newport, let's talk about Newport. Everybody still has the same desire for the same amount of food. We haven't got a huge influx of people, so that wouldn't increase the demand. No, they're conditioning you
to accept
the fact that higher prices and less food in their store because of the demand that we've put on them. No, shop and eat and do the same thing I've done every week for the last X amount of years. You just, what? So that way, the next time I talk to someone, they're going to be like, oh, did you hear? There's such a high demand on food.
Wow, that's a lie.
Like, no, did you realize that you're being brainwashed now when you go grocery shopping?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, that's not true. Oh, my God. What are you? That's crazy. You're so crazy. I'm crazy? So please, tell me, what has changed the demand for food? Are we sending that to Ukraine, too? Well, you're at work today, busting your ass to provide for your family so you can eat and pay taxes and bills and all that stuff. Biden's over in Kyiv giving away our money, saying, hey, guys, I'm here.
Oh, hey, just so you're also aware, there are 6 related fact-checking pages saying everything that I just told you is not correct, even though I read that off the summary.
Everything he just said is the most correct out of anyone, because the more fact checks you have, the more accurate the story is.
Obama didn't authorize lying by the media.
No.
Obama did not sign any law allowing propaganda in the U.S. The change essentially eased restrictions for Americans who want to access government-funded media content. So just eased it. Okay. I like how they use other words. They eased it, so therefore it's everywhere. It's easier to do. Like you just said, it's easier. How many articles have we read where it's like, where's your source? Kind of like Kamala saying that Russia's committed crimes against humanity. You want me to take your word for it? I ain't taking your word for shit.
We are we're the laughing stock of the world because of Trump. We're the laughing stock of the world now because we're fucking stupid. So we took the dumbest people we could find in this country, Joe Biden and Harris, the dumbest, and said, we're going to make you president and we can make her vice president. And like, oh, all right. And then, boom, here they are. And now they do everything you can imagine wrong on purpose because you couldn't do this much wrong. Like me and you could go there. We don't know anything about government. We could go there and not make the amount of mistakes that these people make. You can't. It's not possible.
Well, that's why it drives me nuts is because it's on purpose. Like, I don't think she's as dumb as she talks to us. Like, she's doing that to piss people like me, you, and everybody else off.
Right.
Like, why else would she talk like we're all...
Who are the dumb ones?
First graders, maybe.
Those two? Or all of us out here like, yeah, that's our president and vice president right there. Damn, they're smart. I'm not going to go to Palestine. I'm going to go to Poland.
My loyalty has always been to the Constitution. It's not to a political figure on any side of any aisle or down the middle of the aisle. It's to the Constitution.
Right now, we're in a real-life game of how many things can I do before these people actually say enough's enough?
Exactly. That's a good way of looking at it.
And we are down like 1,000 points to nothing.
Seems like it.
Like I think this dude could walk down the street and just start randomly shooting people, and he'd probably kill half of Washington. Well,
no, he would come down like our streets.
Yeah, he wouldn't do it in D.C.
D.C. They're all liberals.
And it'd be like, hey, at what point do you think these people will stop me? Well, I don't know.
You'd have a lot of people making excuses for him.
Right.
Well, he's older. He's the president.
Yeah, that guy over there, like...
His hand's trembling. He didn't really mean to do it. That guy, see, I bet he's a racist. He's white and he's married.
I bet. That's true.
Like, thank you, Joe. You saved us.
Yeah.
Not everybody, but there'd be some people that were like, oh, they deserved it. Like, you'd have it on both sides. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, you're right. It's almost as if it's a joke now. How much can we get away with before someone stops us? A lot more.
Tomorrow we should play a clip of Bill Gates being asked about his carbon footprint. And basically he says that, he's too fancy and rich to care, but he spends billions to fix things. And his is just minute. It doesn't matter. Mine and your carbon footprint matters huge. Huge. His doesn't.
Because he's trying to help?
Yeah. So his carbon comes out like fairy dust. Sprinkling all over the world. Ours comes out as bad
pollutant. It smells like the worst.
Yeah.